There were so many quotes in this book. Life, Love, and Legacy. Why that title?
It just felt right.
It does.
It just felt, it's so easy for us to exist. It's harder to live. And then we talked about the 3 hardest words for any man to say, I love you. But the greatest gift we can give ourselves is to know thyself and then love thyself. And to me, when I think of love, I have to start with Cole in order for me to give it to anybody else. And I don't mean in the egotistical, narcissistic way. I'm talking about truly embracing why I was created or why I am created, my scars, my pain, all of it, just the beauty of life and loving that. And then from a legacy, many books, thousands of books have been written on, you got to leave a legacy, you got to leave a legacy, you got to leave a legacy. But I'm more about chasing immortality and helping others do the same. And what I mean by that is it's the impact, the wake that you live in the world. You don't have to have millions of followers on Instagram or YouTube. Yeah, that, of course, helps you expand your reach, etc. But for me, my legacy is for my children, for my grandchildren, for my great-grandchildren, for my great-great-grandchildren, etc. And it's based upon one simple ethos that I live by every day. Did I leave the world better than I found it? Mm-hmm. That's just how I live my life. Mm-hmm. And that's honestly how I've always lived my life. But through this journey, this messy thing called life, it's been fun. And that's why I titled it School of Man, A Man's Guide to Living, Loving, and Legacy.
And I love what you said about yourself at the beginning of the book. I was feeding myself BS and calling it caviar. Mm-hmm. You seem to be on a lifelong journey of learning, Cole. To date, which of the things you have learned sticks out in your mind most?
I've never been asked this question, so I love it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, great question. Smooth is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You can't microwave success.
Oh. Okay.
You can't. Trusting the process is honestly a gift in and of itself. We have been tricked into these little casinos we carry on our hands, our iPhones, right? That you hit a button, and I say it all the time in Psalm, life isn't Amazon Prime. You don't just hit a button and that result shows up at your doorstep a day or two later. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast once you're locked in on your target, and it's the right target. And once you trust the process, that makes that ride a hell of a lot better. The sunrise is a hell of a lot more beautiful. And the sunsets just absolutely blissful. That's what I've learned, is that today it would be easy for me to walk away from Psalm and say, you know what? Got what I needed. I'm out. I need it more than ever.
You never stop needing it, do you?
No, and Psalm doesn't produce an iPhone. We are the iPhones. We help upgrade men like they upgrade their iPhones or their golf grips or their hunting or their new shotgun or whatever. But what I've learned is, and just coaching all the men that I've coached from various walks of life, you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process. You've got to take the step on the path, and you have to understand, hey, smooth is fast. Like, you're going to get where you want to go as long as you have a vision of who you are chasing and you're ready to burn that boat and write that letter to that former self. And you truly buy into it and believe in it. And you don't continue to give in to those voices inside your head or the naysayers or the people outside of you out here making fun of you. I can't tell you how many people have made fun of me. Tons, and I'm appreciative of them, that have laughed at me, mocked me. And I don't have a vengeance towards them because I'm so steadfast in who I am. I know where I'm going. I'm in control of my life and the journey that I'm on. Very few people have that type of mindset. And I'm not saying, look at me, but back to that question, it goes back to slow is smooth, smooth is fast, meaning trust the process. Just trust it. Trust it. Don't microwave success. You don't want that.
And stay on track.
Stay on track. And you're going to get off. Your consistency is going to create your own personal credibility. Mm-hmm. That's what I see, as the greatest opportunity out there for people.
Now we're going to talk about what you did first. Started logging your food how did you begin?
So I downloaded the Lose It app, and it gives you its sort of recommendation for calories and macros. But I ended up using sort of an online calculator that calculated mine. And honestly, this is where a lot of people end up getting a professional opinion, having a professional like me calculate their macros. I kind of did it myself. I already loved science. And so for me, it was fun to use the formula, plug in all the numbers. And so once you have your macro numbers, you just start logging your food, and that's really it.
How do you get a macro number?
So
is that funny?
Yeah, I know. Sometimes we talk about it so much that then I forget. Okay. So in order to get your macros, they are individualized to you. So every person is going to have different numbers. And what it's really based off of is it's a professional formula that you use and that professionals are trained to calculate. But what it does is it looks at your anthropometric measurements. So your height, your weight, it looks at your age. It also looks at your lifestyle. So are you active? Are you sitting all day for your job? Or are you, heavy labor, moving around? And then it accounts for your exercise and how often you are moving your body. And basically what you're doing is you are taking the amount of calories that you need to be eating in order to maintain your weight, right? Then you subtract a little bit and you move into a calorie deficit, which is how we lose weight.
That is so complex. All right. What let's break it down a little bit.
Yes.
So what are macronutrients, first of all?
For macronutrients, what you're looking at is protein, fat, and carbs. And all three
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. All three of these
No
things.
calories.
Well, all three of those things add up to your calorie amount. So if you look at a food label, you'll see there's the fat listed, there's the carbs listed, and there's the protein. And if you do a little math, all of those numbers add up to the amount of calories that you see at the top of that food. So when you're counting your macronutrients, what you're doing is you're adding all of the numbers up in the macronutrients of the food that you're eating throughout the day, and you're trying to hit specific targets. So when you log your food, you see all of this. In the Lose It app, what you have is you're logging your food, and it shows you your total for the day, how much protein you've eaten, for example. So you can see, I've eaten 80 grams of protein, but my goal is 100 grams of protein. I need 20 grams more. So it's a little bit of a puzzle that you're going on, that you're trying to sort of wiggle around your food options to hit that number.
And you can't figure out your own amount you need. You need some nutritionist to figure it out for you, or a personal trainer or somebody.
There are only nutritionists are qualified to in this. There are online calculators out there. That's what I was saying. That's what I used. That are sort of, it's a computer doing it for you, or you can have a professional calculate them for you. There's a lot of resources out there on how to do it yourself, which is how I did mine when I started. But if you're looking for something more accurate, having a professional calculate it is the way to go.
So when I was getting ready for this show, I heard you talk. I learned about body types, and you kind of hit on it just then. And I learned about the ectomorphs and the endomorphs and the mesomorphs. And for people that don't know, the ectomorphs are the skinny, lean, sinewy people, and the endomorphs are more squatty and round, and the mesomorphs, which I could never be, are athletes.
All right.
They can put on muscle, they can put on fat. They're really great. I don't care how much I worked out. I could never put on muscle.
Yeah.
So what are you?
I don't know. I will tell you, I don't subscribe to the body type thing. I know. We get a lot of questions about this, actually, and it's not something that I subscribe to, because there is hard science about how we put on muscle and how we lose body fat. And so long as you follow those paths, no matter what your body type is, it might be harder for someone to put on muscle mass, but typically it's the same route that you're going to take no matter what. So to me, that just complicates things.
So you can't use that as an excuse.
No excuses around here.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to work out more.
I was about to say, no excuses anymore, Mom.
Genetics come into play. It's not like that's not, it's not completely unfounded.
Right.
I guess what I would say is just that, to me, it complicates things, whereas really what you need to be focused on is, just making sure that you're being consistent and
And list again what you take into consideration when you're
anthropometric measurements, so your height, your weight, your age, your activity level. So, you know,
do you
how
work
much
at a
you
desk?
sit, right? Then you add on to that your exercise routine and habits, but also we work with women, so we also are looking at, are they nursing? That's going to add, you know, more calories, different things too. I take it a step further. I'm very thorough with mine, so I ask you if you know how many calories you've been eating, and that's going to affect your numbers. So again, the online calculators do like a overview, whereas when you have a professional look at these things, you're going to get more accurate numbers.
All right. So what is the difference and how long before you started to see the results? You love food and you still lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
So how long was it before you began to really see, and you're saying you didn't necessarily count calories? Because if you count the macros, it counts calories.
Exactly.
For you.
What I like to explain to people is if you can count calories, you can count macros. It's just an extension, just a little extension. So instead of just focusing on your calories, now you're going to focus on how your calories are made up.
What kind of calories you're consuming that
Exactly.
go with your body
Exactly.
type.
Exactly. And it makes a difference. For weight loss, protein is very important. And so you can be eating a certain amount of calories, but you're filling it up with carbs and fats,
Right.
which is what most women do. And that's just our Western diet.
Yeah.
But, you know, protein is absolutely crucial for weight loss success. And so you're taking it a step further, really enhancing your results by counting your macros.
How long before you start seeing results?
Definitely it took me a couple of weeks to really see the changes. I would say, you know, probably 2 or 3 weeks before. I was weighing myself daily on a scale because I had done my calculation myself. I kind of wanted to gauge my progress and see the changes happening. But overall, you know, weight loss is not a straight line. And so it took some time, I would say about 2 weeks before I really started to see the changes and see the scale move in a downward trend.
And then and then at what pace did it go after that?
I lost about 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is good, healthy, sustainable weight loss.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture of Kerry's face in the center of the screen. For more of Kerry's interviews, click either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.